Coming in.
Hear me today.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, and I'm mad.
Coming in hot.
Shoo.
Coming in hot. Live from him.
Oh, well, I don't know what that was.
All right, 40 seconds.
Okay, you want to pray for us right now?
Well, Lord, please bless this broadcast, Lord. Let everything go good. Watch over Amber and I as we do this show. Set your hedge about us. Protect us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay. Feel like Beetlejuice. It's showtime.
Boom.
Hello, what's up, everyone?
Oh.
I'm Adam Banks, and
Hey.
I'm the host of Off the Cuff.
How you doing?
You are listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 FM Lexington.
Recording.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can download the Radio Lex app on your smartphone device to listen to us anywhere in the entire world. Or, in addition to all of that, you can stream the show live from the website at radiolex.us. Amber Turner and I are both broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. And for the first time in, I would say, a year, Amber, this is the first time me and you have been into the studio where we are not separated by a piece of plastic.
I know. I feel very exposed right now. Look.
I can
we're
reach
touching-
out and
reach
touch you.
out and
Touch
me.
my
I
hand.
thought you were going to say touch my body.
Well, you do know that it was a year ago today, I believe, when everything shut down.
Oh.
Today, it was either today, tomorrow. It's right around that time.
Wait, no, that was 2020, so 2 years.
2 years ago.
2 years.
What am I talking about?
Well, I mean, it's been a while, 2 years, man.
Yes, but I guess it took 2 years to remove that piece of plastic in front of us.
I never thought I would miss a piece of plastic so bad. Not that I don't love having just access to you, but man, I used to have the best view because I got to see everything going on over there, and I got to see everything reflecting back from outside.
Yes, that's very true. Well, it's nice to have everybody listening. We are live. It is 4:02 to be exact. Big show today. We've got a guest coming on the show around the third, fourth segment, Cody Caudle.
Oh.
He is going to be coming on to talk about his band. And something interesting about this guest.
Okay.
Out of all the years of broadcasting on the radio,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong because I've been wrong before,
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever had a family member on my show.
Oh.
Have I?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I haven't.
No.
I don't think I've ever. So this is the first time I'm having a family member on my show. He is a cousin of mine. We share. We share the same grandma.
Well, so you mean I'm about to be sitting in the room with two of you all? Two of you
Yes, yes. My mom, his mom are sisters.
all? Okay.
So my cousin Cody will come on the show, and he's coming on to talk about his band. And it's a different. I guarantee you
Mhm.
that a lot of our listeners are not really. I'm going to say maybe I'm wrong. But the type of music is called death metal. Have you ever heard of that?
What?
Death metal.
Uh-huh.
And now Cody is going to come on and talk about what all that is.
He's going to have to tell me all about it.
He's going to explain, but I'm excited to have him on the show. I'm looking forward to it. But Amber, other than gas prices being higher than a cat's back, how are you?
Well, it's a beautiful day outside, so I'm doing pretty good.
But you can't go nowhere. Gas prices are too high.
Well, you got two legs. Walk.
That's
Walk
true.
a little bit.
If you have an excuse to do anything now, it's to walk, because gas prices are definitely high at the moment. But Amber, I would like to start the show talking about something that has been on my mind lately.
Okay.
You know, have you ever had somebody over at your house and you want them to leave, but you don't really know how to say it, so you give them a social cue, hey, I'm ready for you to go?
Yeah, you start giving the hey, time to go.
Well, or you're like, well, man, it's getting late, or man, I'm tired, or woo, I got to work in the morning. Or
I start yawning.
you do that. Those are social cues, and sometimes people don't pick up on them.
In my case, they never pick up on them.
Yes, so it made me start thinking just of not really just social cues, but social norms.
Okay.
I'm sure you know what a social norm is. We learned about that in sociology. That's like sociology 101.
Okay, that was a long time ago.
Yes, so social norms is basically what society accepts as normal behavior.
Okay.
Is a social norm.
Yeah.
Normal is where that comes from.
Ooh.
So, Amber, we live in a different world. 2022, it's a different world.
Unlike any that we thought it would ever be like.
Exactly. And we started the show off one episode talking about getting advice from baby boomers and how it was outdated. Well, a lot of things, because of this new world that we live in, that used to be normal is not really normal anymore. It's outdated.
Yeah.
And it made me start thinking of social norms that are accepted in today's society that are outdated and need to go away.
Well, I'm going to get my pen and paper ready because I have a feeling these are all me.
Because there are some social norms that I feel like aren't really acceptable in today's world.
Yeah, no, I understand.
We have some social norms in this world that we need to retire. And the first thing that I would like to talk about really social norms is tipping. Tipping here in America, it's a social norm. It's normal to tip. That's crazy. Jobs should pay their employees enough, because all they're doing is just putting it on us, making it our responsibility.
Well, and I think it takes away from the fun sometimes, just being able to go out and, enjoy a meal, because if you don't tip enough, people now put your, ticket stubs or your receipts all over the internet now. So it's just not even enjoyable to go out anymore.
Another social norm that needs to retire is parents making their kids hug and kiss people that they aren't comfortable with.
And I just, I won't go on my soapbox on that one because, I got one. Just don't make your children touch anybody. Not necessary.
No, because there's a lot of freaks out there. A lot of freaks and geeks. That prey on children, so you should never have them do anything like a hug. A hug and a kiss only really needs to be shared between, I would say, parents.
Someone the child's comfortable with.
Yeah, someone the child's comfortable with.
Period.
Another social norm that's normal in society that we need to retire is putting our jobs before our personal lives.
Oh, 1,000%. I don't even understand it.
And while I'm on that soapbox, as you like to call it, I think another social norm that needs to go away is working all the time, 40 hours a week. That's too much. That's way too much. We work too much here in America. 40 hours a week is way too much.
I'd give 40 hours a week if I could come home and turn my phone off. That's what I always hated was, 40 hours. Well, you done 40. Can you give me 2 or 3 more? Well, no, I already gave you this amount. Come on.
Expensive funerals is a social norm that I feel like that we should retire. People feel like that they need to spend a lot of money on somebody who died to show respect and their honor.
Absolutely not.
They're dead. They're dead. They don't know what kind of casket they're laying in.
No.
They don't know where they're dead. That sounds harsh, but it's true.
No, it's the truth, because I'm going to tell you, we experienced a loss, and the process of getting that funeral set up, I realized, people take advantage of you when you are absolutely at your worst, and that's typically when you're doing a funeral. Diamond
rings for engagements, I think, is a social norm we got to retire. It's a scam to think that it's weird to me that it's normal in society to go and spend, what do they say is normal, 3 paychecks? A man's first 3 paychecks to go out and spend. Is that what they say?
I don't know. That is definitely a norm that I never picked up on. I think my engagement ring was under $200. So
it's normal in society to spend a lot of money on a diamond ring for engagement, and that's the stupidest, most outdated thing I've ever heard. People go in debt on getting a stupid ring.
Buy you off after 25 years, that big nice set. Don't buy somebody that you just met and got engaged to within 6 months.
Another social norm that's became pretty modern. It's not been around for a long time, but now it's a normal behavior that we got to retire is these over-the-top gender reveal parties. They gotta go. They gotta go. I love it when I watch the gender reveal parties and things go wrong.
Oh, I love that.
I love it, like when like the baby will come up and like pop the balloon and like spoil the surprise.
Yep. Or like they'll pull it and like it'll be just clear smoke that'll come out. I think that's one that I saw. Or like they'll cut into the cake and it has all the colors.
Well, because people get hurt. Sometimes, didn't you hear the story of the airplane that was supposed to dump either pink sand or blue sand and the airplane crashed and everybody on board died?
We covered one, I think back in 2019, where they started an entire field fire, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that needs to go. That needs to go. Another social norm that we got to retire is asking women when they are going to have kids and implying that they are bad for not wanting them.
Thank you. I got asked one time when I was going to grow up because I said I wasn't going to have children.
Yeah.
I got asked when I was going to grow up.
We've talked about that. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, I just think people forget sometimes, don't ask a woman, if a woman tells you she don't want kids, you know what? She don't want kids.
She don't want kids.
She don't want
so
them.
don't put that added pressure on. It's okay for a man not to want them, but for some reason it's not normal for a woman not to
No,
want
I'm
them.
completely abnormal because I don't want children.
That's why, and I disagree with that. So I think that needs to be retired. That social norm of women being weird for not wanting kids. That needs to go away.
Exactly.
That needs to go away. Another thing that needs to go away is the garter toss tradition at weddings.
Oh,
there is nothing more disturbing than seeing your younger or older brother going up his wife's skirt to get a garter.
And like usually pulling it down with his teeth, and grandma's over there in the corner. Oh, kids.
But that is a perfectly normally accepted behavior here in this country.
Nah, not at my place. It ain't.
And people can be dirty with it too.
Oh gosh, and like I don't know, just no.
The saying "boys don't cry" is a social norm that needs to be retired. Boys do cry. It's not just a great movie by Hilary Swank. Boys do cry.
Movie.
They do, and it's okay to cry. I don't think you should cry at the drop of a hat. You probably got emotional issues if you do that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a man showing emotion.
No,
Keeping it in, you're not hard for keeping it in.
No, I respect you more if I know you have emotion.
Yeah, now don't be a little baby and cry over everything, man.
Hush now.
I mean, there's nothing that makes me more sick though than
Yeah.
watching a grown man cry over anything. I can't stand that. I
Are
can't.
you talking about like the puppy dog commercials? He's crying.
Well, no, it's just like his daughter sings on American Idol, and then all of a sudden he starts crying. That makes me so mad. I get so frustrated when I see like a dad crying because his daughter's singing. Dude, get a hold of your emotions. There is a fine line with men crying. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So it's okay to cry, but don't be crying over every little thing.
Don't go overboard.
Don't go overboard with it. Another social norm we have to retire here as a society is being nice to customers who act terrible to you. If you are an employee who gets treated bad by a customer, that's not okay.
It ain't okay.
That ain't okay. These are human beings. And a lot of the times we treat people like an it factor, like they don't have families, they don't have feelings. You're just my slave to do what I want. Take my order.
No, look, I'm not like that. Because we see way too many people out there. They get a little too comfortable being disrespectful.
That really aggravates me. It really aggravates me. Another social norm we have to retire, Amber, is having to give a reason for not attending a social gathering.
Oh, get out of here. You know what? You gave me the best line to use the other day. You said, well, I don't need no excuse. It's no.
No, what I said was, I think I was talking the other day, was like, I actually don't have an excuse other than I just don't want to.
I just don't want to.
And I think this comes with age.
Yeah.
I think with age, more and more people become more of a no man than a yes man. At least you should be.
Well, sometimes though, unfortunately, the no men, we kind of feel like we're out, by ourselves, because what you realize is everybody's a yes man, and then when you become the no man, you're the odd man out.
Another thing I think that needs to go away that's a socially normal behavior is the 2-week notice for leaving a job. Now, I teach a class called Career Development, and that class is talking about how that's the right thing to do. But that's the socially normal behavior. So it
Yeah.
is the right thing to do. I didn't tell them wrong. But I do think that's something as a society that we shouldn't expect from employees anymore, because employees can fire you on the spot and not give you a 2-week notice.
Exactly.
So do we got to be fair to them and give them a 2-week notice?
No, because you got to get that good review, and you got to be able to come back there and work. Ain't nobody want to come back to no toxic work environment, no ways.
Yeah, that's just something that needs to.
It's a scare tactic.
So anything that I left off, is there a social norm that's normal in today's society that you feel like, Amber, that we need to retire?
Absolutely, inviting me to all of these events and expecting me to bring presents to everything.
Oh,
Everything.
oh yeah,
Everything.
yeah, exactly.
Like, oh.
Now, showing up is the present.
That's what I'm going to start saying. Don't invite me because your kid, went potty the first time. Want me to come down and bring presents stuff.
Yeah, giving greeting cards for every single event imaginable is a social norm that has to go away.
I don't even know what to write in cards.
That's got to go away.
Yeah, I don't want to do that no more.
It's got to go away, yeah.
Yeah. Just let me show up. I'll bring a fruit tray or something.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We still have lots more Off the Cuff coming at you live after these words. We'll be right back.
WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
There were more than 11,000 collisions in Lexington during 2020. Let's go places safely, Lexington. Distracted driving is damaging and deadly. Keep your mind and your eyes on the road when driving in town. This traffic safety message is presented by Toyota.
The YMCA knows swimming, and we're here to teach you. Y swim lessons include water safety skills, stroke technique, and a healthy exercise that prevents chronic disease, decreases high blood pressure, and increases cognitive well-being. Swim lessons available for infants, youth, teens, and adults. Flexible times fit your busy schedule. Group and private lessons available for your learning style. Some locations offer swim lessons for children, youth, and adults with disabilities. 4-week and 8-week classes start in March. Need-based financial assistance available. To learn more, visit ymcacky.org.
Radio Lex has the support of Founders Circle member Lexmark International.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Faith Hill had a lot of great country songs back in the 90s, didn't she?
She's a good-looking woman.
Well, not
I'm
only.
gonna go on record on that.
Yes, she is. And, her last name, Hill, is
Yeah.
her maiden name to a guy who she's not even with anymore. You know that,
Yeah.
right? David Hill
Yeah.
was her former husband, and she divorced him and took his name and...
Talk about the best revenge. Like, not only am I going to divorce you and take your name, I'm going to become one of the biggest country
And make
stars
your
in the
name
world.
famous.
Yeah, and you ain't got nothing to do with it.
And you don't got nothing to do with it.
Oh.
Wow. All right, well, on the first segment, we were talking about social norms that we need to retire. And I was hoping more and more people would chime in on the show thread for that to give us some social norms that they thought that we need to retire that we didn't mention. So if you got one, throw it up on the show thread. But Amber, this next thing that I want to talk about, we've had something on the show, a discussion about this. It's very similar. We talked about the things that our parents told us growing up that we later found out wasn't true. Like keeping the car light on in your car would get you arrested.
That's literally the one I thought about.
Yeah. Those things we found out wasn't true when we got older. But Amber, there are are a lot of famous myths out there that's been around for years.
Yeah.
Do you remember that show Mythbusters?
I do. I like that.
Right. And it would take a myth and it would just prove it wrong. It would bust the myth.
Exactly.
Well, Amber, I was doing some research and I found some famous myths that have been around for years that I'm going to debunk. And it's going to blow your mind.
I know you're about to school me, so let's hear
and it's going to blow the audience mind too. Now, everybody at home is probably sitting there thinking, well, I knew that.
Well, I'll be the first one to chime in. I didn't.
Well, I didn't.
I didn't.
Okay. The myth is this, that bulls get angered by the color red. That's
true?
That's a myth. No, they are colorblind. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well,
Yes. So, no. I tell you what, the fact that people will wave that red thing thinking that's making the bull go crazy is a total myth.
oh no.
Yeah, it's a total myth. It's a total myth. So, getting caught in the rain can cause a cold is another myth.
No, that ain't true.
Have you ever heard people say, now don't get out in the rain, you'll catch a cold?
You catch your death.
A cold is caused by a virus, not the weather. What's actually happening is that certain cold viruses like rhinovirus thrive in low temperatures. That's why they spread more easily during the winter or when it's raining. So you can catch a cold when it's raining, but not because it's raining.
Exactly.
So when people say, now put a coat on, you're going to catch a cold, actually you cannot get sick from that. That's not how you get sick. So that's a total myth. Another myth that I'm going to blow your mind over is this one. That here's the myth, that it's illegal to film someone in public. Did you know that it is absolutely legal to film a person in public without their consent?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you can film a person without their consent in public. When people say, you ain't supposed to film me, that's illegal. That's a myth.
Oh.
We can film you. Anybody can film you in public.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Well,
not illegal.
I guess it's a public place, you
Now,
know.
there are some exceptions. You can't film people going to the bathroom.
Well, not a nasty.
Yes. You can't film people on private property.
Okay, I can see that.
But out in public, that's why the paparazzi gets away with it.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody filming you, you can get mad all you want, but they are following the law.
Well, just throw on a good song and give them a show.
They're not breaking any laws. Another myth. Have you ever heard somebody say that, so-and-so pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps?
Bootstraps.
That's kind of an endearing way of saying that they pretty much came from poverty, came from nothing, and made themselves like a self-made man or woman.
Yeah.
But that is actually an impossible task to do. It is impossible for a person to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
I mean, I guess you pull your boot up with your bootstrap.
Yeah, but you cannot lift yourself up with your bootstrap.
No.
If it's on you, you can't do that. Here's another myth. That you can use a defibrillator, the paddles, to restart a heart that has flatlined.
Oh.
Yes. You do regular CPR for that, everybody. The paddles are meant to shock an arrhythmic heartbeat back onto a normal rhythm. They won't work on a heart that has flatlined already.
Flatliners.
So you know why people think that exists? Hollywood.
Yeah.
Clear! On Hollywood, anytime somebody flatlines, I'm thinking House or Grey's Anatomy, when somebody flatlines and they put the little defibrillators on the chest, they shock people. That's Hollywood. In the real hospitals, when somebody is flatlined, they're not going to use the defibrillator to bring your heartbeat back.
No.
That's a myth. So there you go. Here's another myth, that the stock market represents the economy.
No.
You know, I used to think it did. And I remember during COVID when the S&P 500 and the Dow went down and was pretty much collapsing, I was like, oh my God, we're going to go into the Great Depression. The stock market has nothing to do with how good or how bad the economy is doing.
No.
And that is something that I did not know. I did not know that. We've talked about this on the show. This is something that our parents told us when we were younger, that you would get a cramp in the pool if you didn't wait 30 minutes after you ate.
Well,
That is false. You can actually swim right after eating without getting any cramps. But the reason that became a myth is because that's what the Boy Scouts used to tell people. It was actually printed in the 1908 Boy Scout Manual.
Ah.
So it's just a lie that's just been spread for almost, well, over 100 years.
over 100.
Yes. And here's another one. Women get looser the more sex they have.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, women get looser. There is absolutely no evidence that sex causes a vagina to loosen up over time.
Yeah, I wonder who did the research for that one.
Someone with a vagina having sex for the first time may cause a slight stretch in the hymen, the thin little membrane around the vagina, which may make the vagina feel slightly more open. However, this is totally normal and healthy.
Ain't that a hymen? That's where we're from, ain't it?
Different hymen.
Okay.
Different hymen. But, so during sexual arousal,
Yeah.
the muscles of the vagina relax and will temporarily open up before, during, and after sex to help penetration, but will return to its usual shape.
Yeah.
So there's no loosey-goosey after having sex multiple times. That is a myth.
Oh, goodness.
It is a total myth. Here's another myth. There used to be a thing in Korea about... No, I don't want to leave that one. Look, another myth is that poor posture leads to body pain.
Well, I mean, it kind of can a little bit.
Well, there's no scientific evidence that accurately links posture, good or bad, with pain. In fact, there was a study that determined that people who are experiencing body pain do not have different postures from those who are pain-free.
Well, now look, I'm a personal trainer. I'm gonna debunk a debunk right now.
Well, there is another study that examined people without back pain to determine if it's because of their posture. Even these people who were pain-free had a slumping posture, and it had no effect on their spinal curve.
Well, I mean, just because you're not feeling it in your back because you got bad posture doesn't mean that you don't have underactive muscles and other places of your body.
And then finally, the last one is the belief that the sun is yellow.
What color is it?
The sun is actually white.
Oh,
If
come
you
on.
look at it during the day, which
Yeah.
isn't a good idea, I wouldn't recommend it. You'll see that it's white. It's not yellow.
Yeah.
So when you're younger and you're drawing a little smiley face on the sun and you're coloring it yellow,
Yellow.
that's wrong. You should have just left it white.
Hey, I got an A+ on my picture, so I don't know who you telling's wrong.
It says here that the sun is actually all colors mixed together, and our human eyes perceive it as white. When we can actually look at the sun during sunrise or sunset, its short wavelength colors are scattered out by the Earth's thick atmospheres. Our eyes are only able to pick up the reds, the yellows, and the orange colors that cut through the thick atmosphere of our planet. So, the sun is actually white. It is not yellow. False.
Well,
Very
I
false.
got a lot of pictures I gotta go home and fix now. So,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Stick with us. We still have lots more off the cuff coming at you live after these words. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tara from Treehouse Goods, located in the Julietta Market at Gray Line Station on the corner of Loudon and Lime. You are listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9, LPFM Lexington.
Recycling right is the best way to support your local recycling program. Not everything with a recycle symbol is accepted. That's true in Central Kentucky and around the country. Dry cardboard, aluminum and steel cans, plastic bottles and jugs, and glass bottles and jars are recyclable in Lexington. Recycling right protects Recycle Center employees and equipment. A downloadable flyer is available for many Central Kentucky communities at lexingtonky.gov/recycle.
The YMCA knows swimming, and we're here to teach you. Y swim lessons include water safety skills, stroke technique, and a healthy exercise that prevents chronic disease, decreases high blood pressure, and increases cognitive well-being. Swim lessons available for infants, youth, teens, and adults. Flexible times fit your busy schedule. Group and private lessons available for your learning style.
Chad says, good thing you
Some
can't get in
locations
trouble
offer
for
swim
taking
lessons
pictures of
children,
other people in
and
public.
adults with disabilities. 4-week and 8-week classes.
Good
start in
one,
March.
Chad. Good one.
Need-based financial assistance available. To learn more, visit ymcacky.org.
My foot's asleep.
It takes a great community to make great community radio. Radio Lex cannot do it without you. Support the voice of the people today. Visit radiolex.us/donate and support Lexington's community radio right now. It sounded so demanding.
Right now.
Radio Lex has the support of Founders Circle member Cy Pugh. Thanks, Cy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Nikki on the show thread, she says, well, I wasn't expecting hearing all this today.
Now,
LOL.
Nikki, you've been following us long enough. You know.
Nothing controversial, Nikki, was said on the show. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no controversial things ever talked about on this show.
Never on this show.
Never.
Never.
Amber, basketball is in full swing. I know you know that. If you turn on the TV around any time right now, you're going to see a basketball game on because it's March. The conference games are being played. I'm very excited for it. But not only is college basketball happening, high school boys basketball is happening as well. The Sweet 16, as a matter of fact, has been set for the Kentucky high school boys.
Okay.
Now, before I get to the teams that are in the Sweet 16, I just want to talk about how nice high school gyms are versus how they used to be. High school gyms have facilities that will blow your mind. Nicer than what the NBA used to be like in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. With some of these new high schools, absolutely.
Their floors, their locker rooms, their weight rooms. It looks like a college program. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The sports facilities is amazing. And these high schools are more than ever getting their athletes ready for the next level.
Yeah, getting them out there.
Uh-huh. Well, the Sweet 16, congratulations to the teams that made it to the Sweet 16. And here are the lucky teams that made it. So the first round games will be played at Rupp Arena on March the 16th, starting at 11 a.m. Jeffersontown versus Lincoln County. Muhlenberg County versus North Oldham. Perry County Central versus Clark County. That's the 14th region there. Perry County Central, the same region that we're from.
Yeah.
Versus Clark County, the number one team in the state.
Wow.
Coached by a Knott County fellow.
It is.
Coached by a Knott County fellow. And there is North Laurel versus Pikeville.
Okay.
And that is on March the 16th. And then the first round games will continue on March the 17th at 11 a.m. with Warren Central versus Mel. Mel is up in Louisville. Mel is really, really good.
I was going to say, I have no clue where that's at.
Lyon County versus John Hardin. Henry Clay versus Murray. Hey, Lexington.
Well.
Let's go, Lexington. Covington Catholic versus Ashland Blazer. And on March 18th and 19th is when the rest of the tournament will be played out. I tell you what, the top 5 right now, high school teams in the state: Clark County, Covington Catholic, Warren Central, North Laurel, and Mel. Woo! I tell you what, that is something that high school basketball, it's exciting. It's always been exciting in the state because this is just a basketball state. I start thinking around this time about some of the greatest high school basketball players that come from Kentucky. And did you know that one of the greatest high school basketball players to ever come from Kentucky was from Wayland, Kentucky?
I do.
Yes, King Kelly Coleman.
Yes.
Was it Adolph Rupp? I think it was Rupp. Adolph Rupp said that King Kelly Coleman was the best high school basketball player he'd ever seen.
Well, now you want me to razzle-dazzle you? My grandfather, my mother's father, if you read the King Kelly Coleman autobiography, you will hear his name mentioned a lot. He actually played on the team with him and was there when they kind of did, I think, a little memorial service for him a few years back.
At Wayland High School?
Yes.
The Wasps?
The Wasps.
The Waspers?
Yes.
I wonder if people back home called them the Waspers, because a lot of people from back home say Waspers instead
Well,
of
now
Wasp.
you know people called them the Waspers. Come on.
I mean, he was an outstanding Hall of Fame player. And then it starts making me think of all the great coaches, high school basketball coaches that have coached. And one comes to mind, and that's Billy Hicks, who coached for Scott County High School from 1998 to 2007. He is the winningest coach in Kentucky high school basketball history with over 1,000 wins.
Oh, my word.
And have his teams reach the state championship game 7 times. This achievement has never before been recorded in Kentucky basketball history. He has won 11 regional titles and 2 state championships at Scott County in 1998 and in 2007. His teams have set a record for state tournament wins during his coaching tenure to date. Billy credits his good fortune to having great kids to work with, a mother who understands the need for a college education, and a wife who has supported him tirelessly along the way.
Well, that was nice.
Yes, and he is no longer coaching, so somebody's got to take the reins of Billy Hicks. However, those two people come to mind. The greatest basketball player to play here, King Kelly Coleman, and the greatest high school basketball coach to ever coach here so far, Billy Hicks.
Well, now look, I know this is your time to shine, but you know if the tournament's rolling into Rupp next week, you know what that means. Traffic.
Yes.
Watch out for the people walking, the pedestrians, the crosswalks. It's about to be booming in downtown Lexington right now.
Yes, get prepared for it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take Off the Cuff's Song of the Week break, and it's going to be a good one. And I tell you what, when we come back, we are going to be joined by our guest, Mr. Cody Caudle, who hopefully is in the studio lobby. And when we come back from the song, we will be joined by our guest and enjoy the song. It's a beautiful day. So, ladies and gentlemen, roll down them windows and enjoy a little Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. We'll be right back after the song.
Carol Lewis is our agent. Well, Zakia and Falcon Broadway is our record company. Indeed. Okay, so who we rolling with then? We rolling with Rush. Rush Town Manhattan. Check this out. Since we talking over this deaf beat right here that I put together, I want to hear some of those deaf rhymes. You know what I'm saying? It's together. We can get paid.
You may go see the here.
Yeah.
Thinking of a master plan. This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. So I get deeper, but still coming up with lint. So I start my mission, leave my residence. Thinking how could I get some dead presidents? I need money. I used to be a stick-up kid, so I think of all the hideous things I did. I used to roll up. This is a hole up. And nothing funny stops my life. Still nothing good but the money.
Have a seat right here.
Cause I'm righteous. I feel great, so maybe I might.
You don't care to be on camera, do you? No. Okay.
If I strive, then maybe I'll stay alive. So I walk up the street, whistling this, feeling out of place, the stand I missed. A pen and a paper, a stereo, a tape.
I don't know how to get a good view of everybody on here.
Which is my favorite dish, but without the money, it's still a wish. Cause I don't like to dream about getting paid, so I
there he is.
The books of the rhymes that I made. So now it's just to see if I got cool. Hit the studio, cause I'm paid full.
Kim, check this out. No, you go to your girl's house, I go to mine.
Yeah, that's good.
Sound
I like that. Alright, so what it's going to be? Kick your headphones, make sure they're good.
Yeah, I turned them up. They might black you out.
Well, check this out. Yo, Eli, turn the bass down. The beat keep on rocking.
Show her the obvious thing.
We had it.
Too loud. Or
What happened to peace?
whatever you need it to be.
Peace.
Who's gonna get you on that song?
Right. They kicked me off. You might want to tell people to tune into the actual broadcast.
For sure. I've been trying to advertise both because, you know, some people like the radio and some people can't get off their phone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Off the Cuff. See, Amber, I've been on this kick. It's like a 90s old school hip hop kick that I've been on.
Oh, I know all about it. And I'm feeling it.
Well, before we left for the Song of the Week, we was talking about the boys' Sweet 16 basketball. A lot of teams in there. But that means that college basketball is here as well. And Off the Cuff will be having its annual March Madness series. It is that time again. This is the 8th annual series.
Oh, my word.
8 years. So the March Madness series is back, and it will be a 4-episode special covering nothing but the NCAA men's basketball tournament. It starts with the Selection Sunday show. It will be a podcast only. It will be released this Sunday at 9 p.m. Jordan Canasser, Chad Rainwater, and Zach Hahn will be joining me. Then the next shows will air right here on WLXU 93.9 starting on Wednesday, March the 23rd at 8 p.m. Then the next 2 Wednesdays after that, you're going to have Double the Trouble Off the Cuff on Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
2 days of Off the Cuff.
Woo!
Yes. And a complete schedule will be posted on the Off the Cuff Facebook page. So go to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks on Facebook to see the full schedule of the March Madness series. I'm very excited.
Now, what about that bracket challenge?
Oh, yes. Thank you for mentioning that. And Off the Cuff this year, we'll be doing a bracket challenge, so you can get that bracket challenge in. So the brackets will open up Sunday, on Selection Sunday. So the brackets will be available probably to start filling out that following day. Maybe even that day. I'll keep everybody posted on the Facebook page with that.
Yeah, you just going to have to come and show me how to do mine.
Well, the thing about it is, though, are you going to fill out a bracket?
I mean, I filled out one last year, but I just went through and picked the names I thought sounded the coolest for how I ranked people.
And you probably did better than most people.
No, I think I was 254th. And I think there was only 20 people. I don't know.
No. We had a really good turnout.
No, there was a lot.
48 people joined the bracket challenge last year. Hopefully we get more people this year. Our Facebook live stream kicked us off earlier, so if you are listening to the broadcast, just know that our Facebook live stream is giving us trouble again because I played Eric B. Rackham and Paid in Full, so they don't want us to play their song.
Well, they want to get paid in full first.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by our guest, Cody Cottle, talking about his band. So stick with us. We'll be right back after these words.
Gobble Grease Toss is back to help you avoid clogged pipes. Bring used cooking fats, oils, and grease to Redwood School on November 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for being
here. The collected oil will be used for research and recycled. Oil and grease can also be disposed of by collecting it in a container and throwing it in your trash, never down the drain. More details at lexingtonay.gov/gobblegreasetoss.
So I'm going to play.
It takes a great community to make great community radio. Radio Lex cannot do it without you. Support the voice of the people today. Visit radiolex.us/donate and support Lexington's community radio right now.
All right, here we go.
Radio Lex has the support of vinyl sponsor Vanessa Wells Gray. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Ember Turner is also in studio with me, and I am joined by my guest today, Mr. Cody Cottle. Cody, thank you so much for being here.
Hello, thank you guys. This is awesome.
It's very nice to have you here, and I was telling people at the top of the show that you are the first family member out of all my years in broadcasting that I've had on my show.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I definitely wanted to advertise that and just let it be known, this isn't just out of the spare, out of the blue. We've actually been talking about this for a long time, so I'm glad we could actually get this going.
I know, and Cody and I are first cousins. So you know how a lot of people, Amber, they'll say, well, I'm so-and-so, they're my cousin.
Yeah.
Cody's my real cousin.
As opposed to a fake cousin.
Second and third cousins are fake. I mean, come on now. But he is my first cousin. His mom and my mom are sisters.
Okay.
You know, that's how cousins work.
You know what? Now that you've told me, now I know.
So, Cody, I think that a lot of fans, or a lot of listeners, when they listen to the show and they hear this music, you call this music death metal?
Yes, correct.
So, can you explain to our listeners who maybe don't really understand it, what is death metal?
So death metal, it could be categorized as a lot of different styles, but really it's just you have this spectrum of just metal, and so you'll have hard rock bands, you'll have easy rock bands, country bands, so on and so forth, who just have that overtone, just that heavy overtone. And I'd like to think that death metal is not only just heavy metal, but it's also that just one step lower, just intense, high pace, just energy. It's everything you can imagine out of a metal show, but I think it goes a couple steps further, if that makes sense. It's just man, it's a crazy experience. You go to these shows, and even if you're not into it, which is a lot of our new fans, you just have the time of your life, whether you're in the mosh pit, whether you're in the back just banging your head. It's an experience for sure, and we try to put a show every time we play for everyone that's new to us, or someone who's known us, or just everybody.
Well, believe it or not, Cody, I have been to a mosh pit. I've been to a show. You might not know this, but do you know who Stevie Adams is from Whitesburg? Steven Adams?
Yes, absolutely.
He does the mosh pits.
Yeah.
Did you know that him and I were roommates in college?
I did not know that.
At Morehead State,
for
yes.
Sure.
We lived together for 2 years.
Absolutely.
In Manon Tower at Morehead State. So he took me to a whole bunch of those metal shows.
Man, that's crazy that you say that, because my very first show I ever went to was a show thrown by Stevie. Man, we still talk to this day. That guy was he was a real local legend down in Whitesburg. He had all the connections. He got all these bands, like people that I was looking up to when I was growing up.
Right, yeah, he did. He used to put together shows all the time.
Yes.
Where in Whitesburg? Where at in Whitesburg?
So there were some spots. The tourism was just like a really good one. Small room, again, a lot of energy, and just it's like sardines in a can. Once you're in there and everything's going off, it's just a whirlwind of emotions for sure.
I want to paint the picture for people what a mosh pit is. So when you go to these shows, like Cody said, it is a small room. It's not a big. It's not a big venue. So about the size of the studio. About the size of the studio, and you've got people crammed in there, and they're throwing the punches, and they're throwing their legs, and black eyes are happening. People's hair's getting pulled out.
Yep.
Have you ever got hurt at one of those?
Yeah. So just our last show, we had a really good time at the Shriners Club in Whitesburg. They were super nice to us, and they were able to give us a venue change last second. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and they just threw us a price, and we were there the next day, sat up, and did the thing. And sure enough, the crowd was really interactive, moshed all night, and sure enough, we were closing the night out. And once we got up there, it was just, like I've said before, a whirlwind of emotions. I seen everyone was going crazy, and it's like, just because we're on stage doesn't mean that we can't go just as crazy. So sure enough, busted my head wide open on the microphone. Didn't realize I had literally split my head open until the front row crowd was just like looking at me like I was crazy. And so, yeah, for sure. I don't get hurt often, just, yeah.
Let's talk about your band.
For sure.
Portrait of Betrayal. Talk a little bit about that. How long have you guys been doing music? Talk about your band.
For sure. So, we started at the end of 2019. That was when we all collectively just got together and thought, this is what we want to do, and these are the right people for the job. Like, we all collectively thought it was a good idea to travel down this endeavor, given the history with our past bands, how they just never worked out. So 2020, we began work on our demo, which is the song you were hearing at the beginning.
We Chose Sin.
Yes, and it is off of the demo, What Crawls Beneath, which will also be the title of our upcoming EP, which should be out, I think, next month with those two songs.
Interesting title, We Chose Sin. What's
For
the
sure.
deal with behind that title?
So at the time, Donald Trump was still president, and so just everything that America was going through at the time, it just seemed like whether you were on the left or the right, it just seemed like everyone was going down a more negative path. And when you looked at it from hindsight, it was just our world leaders who are entrusted with this power were just going crazy with it and just kind of flaunting it like it was, you know, a social media hashtag or something, or, you know, a picture on Instagram. And so, you know, half of the country was siding with the man. And so I kind of looked at that, and whether you didn't side with him, you were still drawn to the negativity that it revolved around.
Right.
And so that was where the title came from. We chose sin, and although I'm not the most religious person, I still think that a lot of people can relate, religious or non-religious, to some of the things that was going on, you know, in the last presidency.
So, are most of your songs original content,
Yes.
or because you do covers too?
Yes, absolutely. So we have 2 covers right now, which is "Clown" by Korn, a fan favorite, if anything. They go crazy for that. As old as the song is, people still get just as crazy for Korn. I know that goes without saying. You probably have seen it on social media, but. And our other one is "Separate" by Knocked Loose, which is actually a Kentucky band up there in Oldham County.
So, yeah, that's absolutely that's amazing. So you're playing all the time in Whitesburg.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about some other shows you got coming up. That way,
for sure,
maybe some of our listeners want to get out and hear you live.
Absolutely. So tomorrow we are playing Al's Bar. And,
here in Lexington?
Yes, right here in Lexington.
Okay.
I believe we'll be joined by Succumb to Demise.
Okay.
We will be joined by The Pine, some good buddies of ours down from Corbin,
Mm-hmm.
and a band called Breaker. I'm not familiar with the other bands, but once we got thrown onto the lineup, checked them all out, and super solid. All these dudes bring the ruckus for sure. So if anyone's interested, we'll be playing tomorrow at Al's Bar, so come on down and get crazy with us. That would be awesome.
That is awesome. Well, okay, I'm going to transition a little bit away from the band and your music. I want to talk about your tattoos.
Okay,
let's talk about your tattoos. You got a lot of them.
For sure.
And do you have a number of how many you have?
Honestly, no. I passed 50 in high school, and once that, you know, was obvious that I was getting covered, I just stopped counting. It was just like, this is now me and a way of life, and at this point, like, I don't need to keep track. It's just, I'll be covered eventually, and even after I get covered, I'll probably cover those tattoos with tattoos.
Right. You know, he said he passed 50, Everett.
Oh,
for sure.
He passed 50. So do people treat you differently? And when I say differently, that doesn't mean bad. Do some people maybe treat you better? Do people just treat you different because of your tattoos?
I guess it just depends on the person rather than it depending on my attitude. Yeah, I do have a little trouble out of law enforcement. They kind of, you know, point the eye at me a lot of the time, but really, all the local police officers in Whitesburg are good buddies of mine, and they actually come up to Summit City where I work and bartend. And so I have a good relationship with those said guys. But yeah, for sure, some people will tip me more because of how nice I am while bartending, and some people will not even cross the street or stay on the same side of the street with me. They will cross the road and stuff. But
and he's the most polite, kind
absolutely.
person ever.
For sure.
Like, it cracks me up, though, because when you see Cody, you see this tatted out dude who just looks like he's just going to be this just punk who's just rude to everybody. But it's a misconception. It's a misconception. He's a nice guy. So, Cody, what is the biggest misconception you think people have about death metal that you want to put to rest? Because a lot of people think, I don't know, those are just devil worshippers.
No doubt.
So what's the biggest misconception, and put it to rest?
Really, I guess, just like that, people assume we are the most negative, devil worshipping, any religious worshipping type beings that just want to steal and kill. And really, it's just the same as a tattoo person. Some of the nicest people I know are tattooed, and some of the greatest people that I still call like my best friends to this day, I've met at death metal shows. And yeah, if you jump in the mosh pit, you could get a black eye, but at the end of the night, everyone is embracing you in open arms, and they just look forward to seeing you again at the next show. So yeah, I guess the biggest misconception is we're probably nicer than any other person you'll meet. And yeah, I'll go down to the grave with that statement for sure.
Well, tell everybody where we can get more information about you, the band, and where we can listen to your music.
Okay, for sure. So we do have a Bandcamp, and we do have a YouTube. We're currently working on getting our music on Apple and Spotify, but you know, mishaps and setbacks. So we're currently working on our EP, which should be out next month. You'll be able to check that out on all the social medias. We have an Instagram, Facebook. I'm trying to think. The number, it just goes on, but yeah, we're pretty well rounded. We have CDs, free demos. If you ever catch us around, you know, cop one, and then we will have physical copies of our EP to sell at shows.
All right. There we go. I mean, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I was waiting for you.
Well, I tell you what, man, that is awesome. Amber, is there anything you want to, I mean, it's not every day you get to bring in you get to sit beside a family member of Adam Banks.
Okay, so there's a few things that are going to be said. Y'all look identical.
What?
Right in the eyes. Right in the eyes, y'all. This is a little bit trippy.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are first cousins.
Hey, you know what? You told us how that happened.
If you could see my brother, you would be shocked. We sound exactly the same over the phone, and sometimes I'm scared.
Well, no, look. I'm seeing, like, these genes are running strong over here, y'all.
For sure.
Maybe I need to get a tattoo.
Maybe.
That's what I was going to ask. The only reason I don't have them is because I don't like the pain. You know how you said we bring the ruckus?
Sure.
No, I can't do the pain. Where's the least painful place? If I ever thought I'm going to get one, where should I put it?
I didn't feel a thing on the back of my shoulder, but I will say...
God, I felt like it would hurt.
I would say opposite. I've got the entire top of my head done, and I would say the very top of the head was just the worst experience of my life. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're gonna get one, I'd do your research for sure.
Okay. And it's like you can't really back out once it starts either.
You can, but man, you'll live with that for sure. Every time I go in, no matter how bad it hurts, it's pain's temporary, and at the end of the day, you're home, relaxed. You've got the social media posted up, you're getting likes, and it's there for life. It's not just a social media post. You will carry that for the rest of your life.
All right, well, that's great. Well, Cody, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. This was an incredible experience.
It was fun. Come back anytime. And we are going to end the show playing...
before we end this,
sure.
I would like to make a quick announcement. We've been in the works with this with the Pine for probably about a year now, and we are finally at the point where we can announce this. Portrait of Betrayal will be doing a split EP as well, along with our original EP with the Pine. And I can't give it too much information on it, but should be later this year. You will see a lot more of Portrait in the Pine, maybe on a tour, maybe just playing more shows in Lex. But we've got a lot to cover and a lot to say, and now that we're finally getting to it, that's all I want to say.
Well, there you go. And Cody, good luck to you, your music endeavors, and your band. Get out to Owl's Bar tomorrow
for sure
to watch the band. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Amber, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff. You can check out all of our previous episodes by going to Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcast, wherever podcasts can be streamed. You can follow Amber on social media at Ambu447. You can follow me on social media at The Adam Banks. You can follow Off the Cuff on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Ladies and gentlemen, special thanks to Cody Call.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Amber, for always being here. That is Amber Turner. I'm Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. We'll see you next Thursday from 4 to 5.